All right, so you've decided to take the IELTS. That's amazing. Specifically, task 2. And, well, it's got you feeling kind of nervous, right?
Yeah, it's a big one for sure. You're not alone, trust me. A lot of people find this section of the IELTS particularly challenging.
Well, you've come to the right place, because today we're taking a deep dive into IELTS Writing Task 2. Hopefully, by the end of this, you'll be feeling much more confident and ready to tackle it head on.
That's the goal. We'll equip you with the knowledge, the strategies, everything you need to succeed.
So let's not waste any time. First things first, can you give us a quick rundown of what IELTS Writing Task 2 actually involves?
Absolutely. Okay, so imagine this. You're in the exam hall, you've got your pencil, you're ready to go, and then bam, you get hit with this writing prompt.
Okay, so it's like a surprise attack.
Kinda, yeah. But the good news is these prompts, they usually fall into a few distinct categories.
Oh, that's good to know. So it's not completely random chaos.
Right. So sometimes they'll ask for your straight-up opinion on a topic, like, should all students be required to learn a second language? You know, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. What else?
Then you've got discussion essays, where you need to present both sides of an argument before giving your own conclusion. Or you might have a problem-solution type where, they describe a problem and you have to propose some solutions.
So you really need to be versatile in your writing, huh? Being able to handle all these different types of essays.
Exactly. It's not just about having good grammar and vocabulary. It's about being adaptable and strategic in your approach.
Speaking of which, how exactly is this writing task graded? I mean, it's not like multiple choice where there's one right answer.
Yeah.
So how do the examiners decide what's a good essay versus a not so good one?
That's a great question, and you're right, it's not just about ticking boxes. The IELTS uses 4 assessment criteria for Task 2.
4? Wow, okay. Lay it on me. What are they?
Okay, so the first one is called task response, and this is all about how well you actually answer the question. Do you fully address all parts of the prompt? Do you develop a clear position or argument? That kind of thing.
Right, so you can't just go off on a tangent and hope for the best. You have to stay focused on what the question is asking.
Exactly. Focus is key. Then we've got coherence and cohesion. This is all about how well organized your essay is. Do your ideas flow logically? Do you use paragraphs effectively? Do you use linking words and phrases to connect your thoughts? Basically, does your essay make sense and is it easy to follow?
So it's like the readability of your essay. Can someone pick it up and actually understand the journey you're taking them on?
Yeah, spot on. It needs to have a clear structure, like a good story. Then there's lexical resource, which is a fancy way of saying vocabulary. Do you use a range of vocabulary accurately and appropriately?
So showing off your vocabulary is important, but using it correctly is even more important.
Precisely. And finally, there's grammatical range and accuracy. Pretty self-explanatory, right? It's all about your grammar.
Okay, so it sounds like planning is absolutely crucial for this task. You've got so much to think about, the type of essay, the assessment criteria, and all in a limited amount of time.
Oh, you're telling me. It's easy to get overwhelmed. Planning is non-negotiable. It's your secret weapon in this battle. Because in the heat of the exam, you don't want to waste precious minutes brainstorming ideas and figuring out your structure on the fly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk strategy. Any tips on brainstorming quickly and efficiently?
Lots. Okay, first up, mind maps. This is a classic. You put the main topic or question in the center and then branch out with your ideas, like supporting arguments or potential examples.
I love a good line map,
Mm.
but I feel like sometimes I get carried away and end up with like this massive spider web on my page.
That's a common problem. I suggest keeping it focused. Stick to the key points. Don't get lost in the details.
Right, so quality over quantity. What about if mind maps aren't my thing? Any other methods you recommend?
Sure. Bullet pointing is great. Just jot down your ideas as they come to you. Or you could list pros and cons for each side of the argument.
Simple, but effective.
Exactly. Or even just free writing for a couple of minutes. Just let your thoughts flow onto the page. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. Just get those ideas out. The important thing is to find what works for you, what helps you generate ideas quickly and efficiently.
So you've got your plan, you've brainstormed some ideas, you've got a structure in mind. Now the actual writing. How do you approach crafting a compelling essay that's going to score highly?
Okay, imagine building a house, right?
Oh, I like this analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm imagining.
What's the first thing you need? A solid foundation, right?
Yeah, you need a strong base.
Well, in an essay, that's your introduction. You need a strong, clear introduction that sets the stage and tells the reader what you're going to be talking about.
And this is where we find the all-important thesis statement.
That's it. Your thesis statement should clearly outline your main argument or position. It's like a roadmap for your essay. It tells the reader where you're going and how you're going to get there.
Gotcha. So introduction is the foundation. What's next? The walls.
Exactly. The walls of your house are your body paragraphs.
And each paragraph has a specific job to do, right?
Right. Each one focuses on a specific point supporting your thesis statement. This is where you really develop your argument, provide evidence, and back up your claims.
And I remember strong examples are key here. It's not enough to just make claims. You have to back them up with concrete examples, right?
Absolutely. Examples make your writing way more persuasive and interesting to read. Think about it if I just say, technology is changing the way we live. It's pretty generic.
Yeah, it's like, okay, sure, tell me something I don't know.
But if I give you specific examples like, the rise of smartphones has revolutionized communication, and then give specific details or statistics to support that, my argument becomes much more compelling.
Oh yeah, suddenly it's like, whoa, you're actually proving your point.
Exactly. Examples bring your writing to life and make your arguments more convincing. So don't be afraid to use them. In fact, use them liberally.
It's almost like each example is a little brick, building up your argument, making it stronger and stronger.
Perfect analogy. You got it. Now you've got your foundation, your walls. What's missing?
To make the house livable, we need some connections, transitions, walkways between those strong walls.
Yes. We need to make sure all these ideas flow together smoothly.
Because an essay shouldn't feel like a bunch of separate rooms. It should feel like a connected, cohesive whole.
Exactly. This is where transitions come in. Using words and phrases like, however, furthermore, or in contrast, they help guide the reader and show how your ideas are related.
They're like the glue that holds everything together, right?
Exactly. Transitions create a smooth, logical flow between your ideas, making your essay much easier to follow and understand.
Okay, this is all great stuff. But let's be real for a second. Even with the best planning and all these tips in mind, people still make mistakes, especially under pressure.
Oh, absolutely. The exam environment can be stressful. Nerves can get the best of us. And sometimes, even simple mistakes can trip us up.
So what are some of the most common mistakes people make in IELTS Writing Task 2? And more importantly, how can we avoid them?
Okay, here's the biggest one. And this might sound obvious, but you wouldn't believe how often it happens. Not answering all parts of the question.
Really? People just straight up miss part of the question.
It happens more than you think. Maybe they skim the prompt too quickly, or maybe they get so caught up in one aspect of it that they completely forget about another.
Oh, I can totally see that happening under pressure.
Oh.
So the key takeaway here is read that prompt carefully and then read it again.
Yes. Underline the key points. Make sure you understand exactly what they're asking you to do. Don't rush it. Another common trap is grammar. Especially under pressure, those basic grammar rules can go right out the window.
Yeah, you spend all this time learning fancy vocabulary, and then you mess up a simple subject-verb agreement.
It's heartbreaking. So brush up on your grammar basics, tenses, subject-verb agreement, articles, all that good stuff.
Back to the basics. Any other tips on how to dodge those grammar gremlins?
Proofread, proofread, proofread. Leave yourself a few minutes at the end to go back and check your work. Fresh eyes can catch those sneaky little errors.
Solid advice. Any other common pitfalls we should be aware of?
Let's see. Don't get too fancy with vocabulary. It's better to use simple words correctly than to misuse a complex one.
So clarity over complexity.
Exactly. The examiners are looking for clear, effective communication. They're not impressed by big words if you're not using them correctly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about planning, structuring your essay, supporting your arguments, avoiding common mistakes. But how can our listeners really put all this into practice? How can they see it all in action?
Analyzing sample essays, it's like having a backstage pass to see what works and what doesn't. It's a fantastic way to learn from the masters, so to speak.
Like we get to peek into the minds of successful test takers.
Exactly. So let's take a look at a sample essay together. This one is a response to the prompt. Some people believe that technology is making our lives easier, while others argue that it is making our lives more complex. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's dissect this essay.
Okay, so right off the bat, notice how the introduction clearly sets the stage for the essay. They present both sides of the argument and then state their own opinion in a clear thesis statement.
Yeah, they don't beat around the bush. They get straight to the point. What about the body paragraphs?
Each body paragraph focuses on one specific aspect of the argument. The first one discusses how technology simplifies daily tasks. They give examples like online shopping, mobile banking, all that. Then the next paragraph explores the complexities technology introduces, like information overload and cybersecurity threats.
Oh, I like how they use concrete examples to illustrate their points. It makes the argument much more convincing and engaging.
Exactly. See? Examples are your friends. Now look at how they transition between paragraphs. They use phrases like, on the other hand, and in conclusion, to smoothly guide the reader through their ideas.
Yeah, it flows really well. You're not left wondering, wait, how did we get here? Yeah.
Right. Now here's something interesting. Look at this paragraph about the potential downsides of technology. Notice how it could have been organized a bit better to improve the flow.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Maybe they swap these two sentences around, it would read more smoothly.
Exactly. So even in a good essay, there's always room for improvement. Now imagine you were tackling the same prompt. What approach would you take? What kind of examples would you use?
I'd definitely make sure I answered all parts of the question, that's for sure. And I'd really focus on finding unique and compelling examples to stand out from the crowd.
Excellent. That's the spirit. Remember, analyzing sample essays is all about understanding what works, learning from others' mistakes, and then applying those insights to your own writing. It's about active learning.
So it's like we're learning from the best and then adding our own unique twist.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? We've talked about understanding the task, planning your essay, structuring those arguments, supporting your claims, and avoiding common pitfalls.
And we even got to analyze a sample essay together, which is always fun.
It is. It's like having a little sneak peek into the world of successful IELTS test takers.
Remember, these writing skills are valuable way beyond just the IELTS exam. They're going to help you in your academic life, in your professional life, even in your personal life. Being able to communicate your ideas clearly and effectively is a superpower.
Absolutely. So, as you continue your IELTS Writing Task 2 journey, remember those 4 key assessment criteria we discussed: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Understanding those is like having a secret decoder ring for the exam.
And keep practicing. The more you write, the better you'll get.
Good luck, everyone. We're cheering you on.